What's up, guys? Got a video blog for you, man. Very serious one, man. Very serious and very subdued, man. It's a dark one. It's about death. It's not gonna be so dark and so fearful and so scary when we're done this. If I do my job, you're gonna see death as a celebration, because that's really what it is. It's a multiplier to make sure you take the most out of life, instead of always trying to hide and preserve life and never really living. It's 5:15 in the morning right now. I like this hour. It's the golden hour of the day. It's where the horizon, once dark, now is given colors and light as the sun starts to creep over the horizon. Birds start to chirp. Nature's waking up. The birth of a new day. The fact that you're still alive, man. The fact that these hands and your body and your thought process can move and shake and change mortality in your life and someone else's life. You can make an impact right now. That's a very powerful thing. It comes very negative in the human mindset because of terror management syndrome, the duality of us knowing that we're mortal, not immortal, and then that conflicting argument with us trying to preserve life. No matter how we do it, and how we dot our I's and cross our T's in the preservation of life, we can never win that. It's a God-given right when we're born that we will die. We know that's coming, but our entire lifespan is about trying to live on, live on. Fuck living on. Live in the moment. Stop trying to be alive and fucking start living. Death is coming. When it comes, are you ready for it? Are you gonna stand up and dance at that fucking celebration? Or are you gonna be wishing, oh my God, because that's permanent, man. You can't change it. You can't reverse the clock, try to make amends and do it right. You don't have time to say you're sorry and make it right. No, it's over with. That day comes. It's like studying for a test. That day is going to be tested. Do you pass or fail? It's a huge accountability of today. Just like I tell you guys, if you want to get in shape and stuff, you need an end state goal. You need a marathon you're running in 90 days, a competition or something that makes today accountable. I got 90 days to make it right. I can't blow off today's responsibility to tomorrow because I have to lose 1/90 of the chance to cross that finish line of the marathon, to get on stage and have a chance of winning it, to create a dream into reality. I got 1/90 of a chance today. I can't blow it up. I got accountability today. Death is the ultimate accountability. It's only fearful if it comes and you're not ready yet. That's when it's fearful. When you haven't been able to say goodbye to somebody. When you didn't live in the moment with a friend or loved one or family member. And you no longer have time to let them know what you think. That's when it becomes scary. My dogs and my family and stuff, I love them to death. Every minute with them I embrace, I love it. I never want it to end, but it will end. We come into this world by ourselves. We leave this world by ourselves. We had the opportunity to engage while here, but we leave alone. We leave with the memories and the embraces and the love and the experiences of life. We take that with us. And if we do it right, we leave footprints of legacy and motivation for others to follow and take the most out of life. Alive, but also living. Not so fearful for death that we become a self-paralysis in our own state, trying to preserve the inevitable. It doesn't work that way, guys. I'm gonna go into the perspective of death. Eye-opening, man. The ultimate status call. The ultimate accountability. I'm gonna tell you what accountability is. Not just in your life, but also others that you live with, and also ones that have lived before you. The accountability they give you. I'm also gonna talk about the fear of death. And I'm gonna erase that out of your mindset if I do justice for you. You will no longer be scared of death. If I can do all these. Not a shrink, guys. Just a dude that likes to go out and live life. And I've tried on both ways. I've had bad days, man, I'm feeling depressed. I've had good days where I feel invincible. I choose invincibility, man. I don't care how much time I have. I can die today. Today I can die. I'm okay with it. It's 5:15 in the morning. I got a day. I'm excited about it. If it doesn't come tomorrow, I'm okay with it. Because I've done everything I can up to now. I've turned every stone. I've I made mistakes, but I gave my valiant effort each time. That's all I can do. I was the best I could be at the moment. Do I want more time? Sure. Sure I want more time. I want to do a lot of other things in life. But if I'm not granted them, I'm okay, because I've done everything I can with the life I've had. It's not this, I'm trying to prepare and cushion and get ready for tomorrow always. It's that I've done it today too. Tomorrow excited about. I prepped the objective for tomorrow. But if it doesn't come, cool, man. I'm okay with it. Let me read you an email from Roger and Paul Alto. We went through a tough time, man. A close friend of his perished well before his time. An 80-year-old man, healthy, whatever else, that played it safe. You want his life? Or do you want a guy that died, 50 years old, that lived a life that's like unreal, like Steve Jobs, fucking gave it his all. Never, just every single day went for it, man. Probably lived hundreds of years in those 50 years compared to somebody who plays it safe. Let me read this email real fast. Greg, I know you understand what it feels like to lose someone near and dear to you through your time in the military. Wanted to get your viewpoint on how to cope with such loss as I'm dealing with the passing of a great friend who was like a brother to me, taken way too early by a car accident. Your wealth you lose, your possessions you lose, everything you lose. The more you get, the more you lose. It's not about trying to acquire them and hold on to them. They say that saying, like, if you love somebody, let them go. If they love you back, if they love you, they come back. It's the same mentality. Don't be defined by these people and this and that. Love them. Embrace them. Enjoy what they offer you. But don't make them a crutch to you like you can't live without them. The fact is, Roger, you lost a dear friend of yours in a car accident, split second. The video I'm going to show you is totally different. I lost my dog Quest, my company Quest Productions. The namesake. 9 years, pulled her out of, a fighting element in Brooklyn. Gave her a fight for 9 years, and she enriched it more than I could ever imagine. Could not say goodbye to her, but guess what? I had to wait 18 months to say goodbye. The anticipation of death is worse than death itself. Your friend has died. I prayed that Quest would be hit by a car and be over with. She had a crazy cancer in her jaw. Terminal, unoperable, meaning, chemotherapy, radiation, this type of cancer didn't respond to. Amputation wasn't an option because you can't cut the jaw off, can you? That's throughout her skull, because if you sever the head, I don't think the body continues. So both options are out. I tried everything else. The doctor told me she had a bee sting, I thought. We were here having a meeting and stuff, and then the 2-hour meeting, we come back out of the meeting, she got this lump growing out. I'm like, what the heck? That thing is a bee sting, right? I take her to the doc, and we do a little biopsy and cut a little piece out and examine it. I get a call saying it's cancer, and you got a month and a half, and she's dead. I go, what the fuck, man? I'm not ready for this. But I was. We lived a full life, and you'll see it in the video. I just wanted else greedy, man. I wanted more of it. It's not about more. It's not about the quantity. It's the quality. Just like in the gym, guys, when you're lifting reps and stuff. It's not the reps you do that count. It's making every fucking rep count that matters. Every day count in your life that matters for a life fulfilled. It's a carpe diem that's very hard to live, but it must be that way. Roger, your friend perished like that. I had to sit there with the one I loved. Treatment after treatment, trying things, nothing worked. Failure, negative. Hope, destroyed. Hope, and then destroyed. Hope, I kept trying though. I kept failing, I kept trying. I never failed to try. We tried things that were on the tip of science, man. We talked to some people much smarter than me and some scientists, and they said, cancer lives off of an energy source called glucose. The brain lives off that too. That's a power system. If you kill glucose in the body, you zap it, well, cancer can't live, it dies. Well, then the brain dies too, right? Well, no, the brain has a reserve power system, like a generator called ketones. So the theory is this: if we're able to inject enough ketones in the body to keep the brain alive, stable, and then take Quest into a hypodermic chamber where they can zap out protons and however they work that stuff. They zap out and they kill all the glucose in the body. Well, then the cancer wouldn't have a fuel to live on. So it would die while the brain still stays alive on its reserve system of ketones. Once the cancer's dead, we bring her out, bring her back up with glucose. Maybe we have something there. Got all pumped up, man. I started injecting IVs into Quest every day. I hooked her up, put a needle catheter in there, and put ketones in for a period of a couple weeks. The only hypodermic chamber that could hold her was in Texas. But then they say, like, she's too big. She won't be able to fit in there. We finally had to find another one. And then her state was depreciating every single day. The most valuable asset on earth, time. A depreciating asset, which I saw in Quest. I had to see the love of my life fall apart. Finally, found a place where she could go. But at that point, she was too weak. Just the operation would have killed her. She wasn't strong enough to endure it. So I had to hold her, man. Knowing that it's inevitable. Just trying to make the most of the time I had, man. And then it got so bad and stuff, that day came. This video is all about the celebration of her life at the end of this video blog. But I had to go through the anticipation of it, Roger. I had to watch it 18 months. It wasn't a quick in and out. There's a lot of different ways of death. But it's a multiplier, guys. Let's first talk about the fact that you can't control it. If we're going to break this fear of death up, the first thing you have to understand is that you can't control it. Get your ego out of the equation. You cannot control this. Death is inevitable. It's above you. Stop trying to control it. Just like in your life, you have dreams and you have fears. Which one are you giving the most time to? Which day at 5:15 when you wake up, which one are you living? Your fears or your dreams? You're living one or the other. If you're really honest, you're probably giving too much of your attention to your fears. The preservation of the inevitable. You can't control it. Release it. Release it. You can't control it. And when you can't control it and you release that, it allows you the time and the clarity to put the effort into what you can control, which is making most of the time we have right the fuck now. The other thing that fears people about death is that it is a permanent situation. There is no going back. There is no reversing the clock, trying to make it right. It is done. You took the test, your grade stands. You can't take a retest, that's it, man. And that scares people because they're not ready for it. That's on them. Why does death scare you? Because you get one chance. It's the only thing I know besides birth that you only get one chance to do in your life. One opportunity. There's nothing else you get to do only once. Death. So do it right. You do it right by living a life to the fullest. Then when death comes, you've done it all. You're okay with it. It's only fearful if you still haven't done what you want to do and time's up, or you didn't say you're sorry, or let that person know what you mean and time's up on their life, and you can sit here and regret. Lesson learned, reapplied, failure, we fail, learn from it, next time we're stronger for it, so you don't make that mistake again to someone else you love. You learn from that experience, multiplying your life that you have right now. Yes, death's gone in one aspect, but now alive in other aspects. What scares you about death is that you're not ready for it because you haven't done the fucking work yet. Haven't paid your dues, haven't become the person you want to be. What the fuck are you waiting for? I might not have tomorrow. There's some things I wish I could go back and do a little better, but I did the best of my ability with my intellect at that time, with my education, what I knew. Obviously, as you get older, you get smarter and more intelligent, more savvy of social settings, business operations and stuff. But I made the best choice I could at the time. That's who I was. That created that failure or that default. I learned from it, created me more strong, capable now. We don't learn in success, guys. Success, we don't learn shit. We only learn in failure. How we came up short, that we see the gap where we are and where we want to go. That gap is a report card on how to fix that weak chain in the chain of life, how to reapply our efforts to make it more effective. So that this is us, not here. This is a fucking us. And then we're ready to die whenever that comes. Because that's we don't have, you know. You have to understand the goal, the value of the goal, why that is so special. And once you realize the value of it, then you don't mind putting the work to create it. Let's talk about death, guys. There are so many forms of death. I'm going to start to try to change your perspective on death real fast. Death. Obviously there's life death, right? There's a day death. That's nighttime to morning, morning to evening, evening to night. There's a seasonality death, where it's spring, summer, fall, winter. Winter dies, new birth. There's a death with, like, I cut my hedges. You know, cutting life off, that stimulates a new growth, a new prosperity of life. Stronger forward, a Darwinism effect of it all. That, you know, the strong survive, so if one dies, the other one learns from it. It's the same process. Our life is the same metaphor in all of these measures. There's also death in our lives. We're studying, going to school, college, right? There's a death there once we graduate, and then a birth into the business world. You meet a girl, you're single, you meet a girl, there's a death of single life. Then go into a relationship life. That relationship starts to work out. You guys get married. Honeymoon phase, right? There's a death to that when you start a family, now you have a kid. There's a death in the birth. But all these deaths and stuff, even running a marathon, there's a training module where you don't think you can do it and you start to grow and get stronger, you learn so much about yourself, and then you cross that finish line. There's a death to the journey that taught you so much, you're so proud of. But then there's a birth of possibilities, because once you didn't think you could do it. You applied hard work, and then you do it with diligence, and then you did it. Now there's a birth that, you know what? What else am I holding myself back from? What are these other fears? Let me face them. I'm capable. You know, I'm not in a self-paralysis state. The bungee jumping story I told you guys, the girl's freaked out on the edge, she doesn't want to go. Fear sets in, self-paralysis, I can't. We push her off, she falls back in horror, comes back up with life. Killing the fear, let go of the end state, that we're going to die, it's done. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Let's get motivated, be ready for that day. But the thing is, with all these death examples I've given you, from graduations, running marathons, getting into a relationship and getting married, starting a family, they're considered positive, not negative. Positive. Because yes, we studied hard, we graduated from school. Now, information absorbed, taking it into the next chapter, the business world, applying what we've learned. Loving somebody, having a family with them, growing that family together. Yes, the single life, going out and whoring and everything else, and fucking whoever you want, or just having the time available to take vacations and not having a babysitter, that's all gone. But for betterment. I'm not married, I don't have kids, but my sister does. She says that's the best part of her life, coming home seeing the kids. Nothing sweeter's ever embraced her. She had to give up what she thought was cool, single life, control and everything else, time and freedom. She gave all that up for this and killed that for the birth of something that's just unbelievably more wonderful than you could ever imagine. But in life, the death is so scary because it's the end. It's the end. There's no more. That's bullshit. What do you mean there's no more? If there's no more, then what are we waiting on? What are we doing our life for? That's like going to school, guys. Studying to be a lawyer, doing all this work, diligence, right? Passing the bar, and then never going to the courtroom, never applying what we've learned. With every death, there's a birth. I don't give a shit what you think. I don't talk about religion, I don't talk about politics, sexuality. I think they're all on an individual basis. But there is a spirituality that I don't give a shit what you think if you don't believe there's an afterlife. Then why are we here? The law of mortality, the law of morals, the law of nature, the common good. You know, no one applauds. C.S. Lewis wrote a book, Mere Christianity. No one applauds the guy in Milton. No one applauds the guy who runs from the fight. No one applauds the guy who steals from his neighbor. There's a universal code there, right? Of what's right and wrong, the law of that. No one taught us that, we're just given that. Why are we given that? Because there's something else. And even if you don't believe it, because it gives value to your life, accountability to your life. Just like when you're gonna have you're gonna run that marathon, right? 90 days. You got 90 days to get ready for it. So you train, it makes today accountable because you're getting ready for the inevitable coming. It's coming. Every day you're fighting for it because it's coming. Then when it comes, there is no fucking marathon. What the fuck is that? No, there's a fucking marathon. And you run it. You graduate college. There's a fucking job market out there. We know that. We don't know what's after life because no humans really ever, I don't give a shit what humans say. No one can definitively, universally answer that question about life after death. I choose to believe it because it empowers my life. It gives accountability of what the fuck today means. It's gotta be that way. I'm not talking about which Lord you love and worship and everything else. That there is a day after this. When we graduate life, there is a job market we go to. And we are accountable when no one's watching. There's a higher power judging us, keeping us correct. That's what the law of nature is, right and wrong, that no one ever instilled with us. No, I never took a class on what's right and wrong. It's been from the birth of mankind, this right and wrong law. It's always been there. It's an intelligent making into us. You don't see that in a fucking tree or a stone or something, do we? No. You can't tell me there's not something afterwards. Because if there is anything afterwards, then why isn't selfish the greatest quality of a human? Fuck it, just be yourself. Steal, rob, cheat, kill. It's all about your own betterment. It doesn't exist because there's an afterlife. There's something we're going to be judged on. This is a test. We're studying for the better part later. There's accountability today. It's also a celebration. When you graduate college, big celebration. Moving forward. That's what death is. It's a celebration. If you've done it right and you pass your classes, you get a degree. You do it right in life. You help your neighbor. Treat others how you want to be treated. These universal laws that no government created. You do it right. You pass on to something else. I don't know what it is, but I'm fucking excited to find out what it is. It gives me peace of this life. Even if it doesn't exist, why would you not have it exist? I'd rather think it's alive and believe it and be wrong than to think it never existed. Because it makes my life accountable. It makes it more fulfilling. It makes it more enriched. It makes it worth living. It gives accountability, guys. The perspective of life. Perspective of death. Why is it that we live our life and we smoke? Right? Big smokers. And we've tried to quit smoking over and over again. We just can't do it. Just can't do it. And all of a sudden we have this pain in our chest or something. We go to the doctor. The doctor's able to take the pain out real fast with some medicine and stuff. But he says, you got if you don't quit smoking, like today, this moment, you don't have more than 6 months to live. Why is it at that point we're scared into what doing right is? Why is it that quitting smoking at that point is so fucking easy? It's a balance scale, guys, of priorities. Living enjoying the quality of people, the excitement, the beautiful things this world has to offer, or this temporary self-indulgence that's going to take all of this and throw it away. This thing doesn't have any more value, does it? So therefore we can change it. But it's not until the power of death slaps you in the face that all of a sudden we make these changes. Why is it that two best friends have a dispute years ago, haven't talked in 10 fucking years, are now enemies? One of those friends gets laid up in the hospital, critically terminal possibly, could die. That best friend 10 years ago, now bitter enemy, comes to his bedside, talks to him. The guy makes it out. He's healthy, and they're good friends again. They let bygones be bygones. That grudge of life that we hold as humans, why are we able to let that go all of a sudden after death slaps us in the face? Why is that possible? It's this perspective change of it all. Here's another one, football season, right? You know, you got 4 quarters, and they're playing and playing whatever else. One team gets up. Let's say they're 27-7, you know, commanding lead, right? What happens then is they stop trying to live. They stop trying to win. And what they do is they try to preserve the margin of victory. They try to preserve life instead of trying to live life. You'll see the whole game strategy change. They'll play it safer, they'll try to run the clock out, and in that, the other team, who now has nothing to lose because they're hurting, starts to step it up. And next thing you know, we're down to 2 minutes, right? And the score's tied. What the fuck just happened there? Why is the perseverance, the preservation, switch? Pursuing it once, and then preserving it another. And as soon as you start to preserve, you start to die. You work your ass off, you retire, 65, then you start to die. You don't have a purpose anymore. It's all just trying to preserve. You can't preserve this thing called life. All you can do is live it. It's a wave. A surfer's out at sea. He can't create the wave. He can't make sure more calm or anything else. All he can do is just get on it and ride it. You can't control it. Let it go. The 2-minute offense. What the fuck is that? Last 2 minutes of the game. We're gonna play above we played in the first 4 quarters. 2 minutes. We've been driving the ball a couple yards here, 3 and out. You know, maybe we get a couple first downs. We punt it away. 2 minutes left. We drive 80 fucking yards and score and win the game. We've had that ability. The team's had that ability the whole time. But it wasn't until the force of death, meaning the loss of the game, that it's all or nothing. The worst enemy in the world, in the military, is an enemy with nothing to lose. Suicide bomber, so to speak. Nothing to lose. It goes back to this terror management syndrome. The duality of humans. Knowing we're mortal, but also trying to preserve immortality. They're oxymorons, don't exist. It's the difference between us and my dog Quest. The day she died, the moment she died, tail still wagging, living life to the very end. Gave me a kiss right before they had to put her down. And that sucked too. See, Roger, your friend got hit by a car. How about this? Your friend can't speak. He's in the bed for 18 months. Can't speak anything. And you have to play God. You have to determine that his life is no longer worth living. It's more pain than valuable. That's why I had to do Quest. I had to play God on her. I had to evaluate her to the point where I found her quality of life was lower than her standard of living. And I couldn't talk to her. I was dying for her to say something. I had to put that on my shoulders as well. Hold her in my arms. Feel the last breath. Feel the body go dead. The soul leaving. 9 years, one of my best friends. Just a memory in a moment I found. There's more perspective on death, because it's not just about your life. You know, it's a life lived before you. There's a really powerful movie called Saving Private Ryan. The basis of the movie is that a mother had a bunch of boys in World War II. and all but one has been killed in this war. The War Department got wind of this, and they just couldn't fathom that she's going to lose all of her boys. So they sent a team of Rangers out to Europe to find Private Ryan, the remaining son, the only son left. Tom Hanks played the company commander, and they went through battle after battle trying to find Ryan. They finally found him, said he's coming home, gave him the news about his brothers and stuff. And the act of this group of men saving one man's life, every single one perished except for Ryan. Ryan's the only survivor of that. Everyone else died for him to live. And a really powerful moment came at the end. It's the future Ryan, in his 80s probably. He's at Normandy, he's looking at all the grave sites, and he's overlooking, I believe, his captain, which is played by Tom Hanks. And he's crying, he's getting teared up. Behind Ryan is 40 people that never would have lived if Ryan didn't live. Meaning Ryan got married, had kids, and they had kids, and they had kids. He's a grandfather, great-grandfather, life, and that one person created all of this stuff. But if it wasn't for these guys who gave their life before their time to preserve the one person's life, then all those people behind him in the screen never would have existed. And Ryan, the elderly Ryan, is looking at the grave, and his wife's next to him, and he's getting kind of emotional, as I am a little bit. And she tries to embrace him and comfort him. And he turns to her and says, Am I a good man? Meaning it was my life worth the sacrifice of all these men. That doesn't make you get the fuck up and do something. I don't know what else will. Because all those men that died for Ryan to live, don't tell me that their spirits, their afterlife, they never had family or kids maybe. Don't tell me they don't feel the connection of being married through Ryan's marriage. Having a kid, Ryan did. Don't think they feel the fatherhood there. Having a family. I don't think that they can feel, they never felt it live in mortality. Don't tell me that the opportunity they gave to him, they don't feel it in immortality, what that means. There's a responsibility there. To live life to your fullest, because so many, even better than us, have perished well before their times for us to have this beautiful thing called life. We cannot take that in vain. Fallen, never forgotten. We celebrate that through our life, through living life, not being scared to join them next to him in the ground. That day's coming. There's a party going to happen later, a big party, where you reconnect with all your loved ones in the afterlife, I feel. Is that going to be a celebration? You tell all these great stories of what you did and everything else? Or is it going to be more like you're sitting there watching as a spectator, listening to somebody else's stories? I don't know what to say. Let me show you this video of Quest right now, and then I'll come back to you and say a few more things and closing out. But this video starts really traumatic, and then it goes into a celebration of the time I had 9 years with Quest. Here's the video. That was my questie, man. That was my love. You know, she enriched my life more than I could ever imagine. She was one of God's angels. She really was. Personality personified. She was so smart, opened doors, and she knew my feelings, and it was a love affair. It really was. I miss her terribly. I'm okay with it though. With loss, there's a mourning period. It should be a mourning period. That mourning is called respect to that person or the animal, whatever you love. It's respect for the life and the time you had with them, and you value that. All the joy and love and tears and laughter, all that great stuff that life provides. You experience that with them. And if it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't have experienced it. So you're mourning them because of what you value them as. How much they enriched your life. It's supposed to be that way. If it continues to be that way, it's called regret. Individual regret. Because they passed on before you were ready to. But it's not about you, man. It's them. But you weren't able to say you're sorry to them. You weren't able to make it right. And it's not about like milk in the refrigerator either, guys. It's every day. And what I mean by milk in the refrigerator is that that's good substance for our body, right? It comes with an expiration date. Use it or lose it. And usually that gallon of milk is in there, and as it starts to near the expiration date, what do we all do? Oh, everybody grab a glass, we gotta finish this, it's gonna go bad. Better finish it. Same thing as grandma. Grandma's gonna die, guys. Everybody make time to go see grandma. But grandma's been living for a while, and no one gave a shit about her for so many years. But now all of a sudden, time's about to expire, so hey, let's drink all the milk so it doesn't go bad. Let's make sure we say goodbye to grandma before she goes. That's not really valuing it. It's every day doing something to be with them, or writing that letter and doing things. It's not having regret. If mourning turns into a longer period of stay, it's called regret because you didn't do it right. So you learn from that lesson, you don't repeat it. Failure, we learn from, grow from, and then we go back at it and don't repeat it. That's growth, man. We all make mistakes, we just try not to repeat them. So the next person in your life that you care about, you make sure when they pass that it doesn't come with that regret. You do it right this time. You learn from the other one. Or maybe it's you going out, first, So you talk to them and you make sure everything's right. So when you go out, they don't feel the regret. It's all good, guys. It's coming. There's no fear towards death because we can't control it, for one. And when it does come, the only reason why you have fear is because you didn't do everything you wanted to do in your life. And I'm not talking like right now, I'm okay to die. It's not about checking all the boxes and being a grandfather and doing all. It's not about that, because that's a luxury. You don't have that right to live that long. All you have is today. That's all you got. Do you make the most of today? Do you make today remembered? 9/11, fallen but not forgotten. Every day passes but lived. Same mentality. And if you do it that way, if you die at 20 or 30 or 80, it's going to be okay with you. You're not going to be scared. Yeah, do you want more time with Quest? Sure, I want more time. Do I want time in my life? Do more things? Sure. I'd love to experience more of this beautiful blessing we have called life. But if I'm not able to move forward anymore, I'm sure as shit not saying, fuck, man, I didn't do enough in my time I did have. Hell fucking no. I'm cool with it. So it's a celebration. There's an aftermath, an afterlife. And if you're not spiritual and you're an atheist or you don't believe in anything else, get over your fucking demons. Get over your ego. Believe there is an afterlife. Just for the ability to have accountability of today. In recap, guys, death gives you an eye-opening perspective of what matters. It gives you accountability and it gives you responsibility. The responsibility comes with people far better than you, that have died far younger than you, to give you this opportunity, immortality, to make changes and make moves. We are born free. We live at the cost of many others before us. That freedom we have. You cannot take it in vain. There's a responsibility to live your life, because the ones before you, I believe, embrace those highs of life they were never able to live. They were robbed early of it. they embrace them through you. You have a responsibility. It's not about you anymore. It's about a bigger picture. So get that through your head. The accountability is that today matters. Just like running a marathon, 90 days out, you have 90 days of training for it. You cannot blow off today's responsibility till tomorrow because you lost 1/90 of a chance to successfully engage that marathon. Today matters. There's an afterlife where you're going to be judged to a much higher power. That judgment is judging you when no one's around. It's keeping you honest in your day when no one's looking at you. It's making sure you do everything right. There's accountability to make sure you're ready for that. It's going to college and it's passing all your tests so the accountability of graduation is successful and you get your degree and then move into the work market. Your life is the same way every single day. You're building your resume and doing everything right. So at the end, there's a celebration of the afterlife. Gotta believe in that though. Even if you're not spiritual, believe in it. Because it makes today accountable all of a sudden. It makes it valuable. Always wise, what's the fucking point? The other is the perspective of death. We've all seen the near-death experiences of people and how it changes them. Couldn't quit smoking, almost died from it. Now, no, don't even think about it. I gag if I even smell it. I hate that fucking person, my bitter enemy. About to die. Hey, we're friends. Come on over. Let's have a barbecue. Well, good. 2-minute offense. There's no more time left. There's only 1:30. Bring 2-minute offense out. We'll go 90 yards and score and win the game. But all first 4 quarters, we couldn't move the ball at all. But now, all of a sudden, with time, running short, we can make it happen. Perspective changes, guys. That power is in us. Without that slap in the face of death's approaching. We can make that happen right now. Same philosophy of the phone call. You pick it up, all of a sudden it's great news. Terrible day up until then. And all of a sudden you hang up the phone, ready to go, charge. Nothing came through that phone to empower you. Just like that fear of death, all of a sudden nothing about that, nothing. Your body's still capable to do it right now, with or without that fear of death. But with the fear of death, that time's running out. Better drink all the milk, make use of everything we can. All of a sudden, why do we have to wait then to make it happen? It's coming regardless, man. Roger, your buddies came a lot earlier. Quest, I had to watch it for 18 months. Mine might be up today, I don't know. I'm cool with it though. Because up until now, I've done everything I wanted to do. There's some things I wish I could have done better. I don't regret them. Why don't I regret them? Because I showed up. I went for it. Maybe if I failed, I learned from that failure, which in turn has made me stronger now years later. It wasn't for those failures, I wouldn't be who I am now. I look back on my life and I, am so grateful for the successes, but blessed by the failures. Because the failures are really what created the strength for the success to actually come to fruition. Be excited about life. Stop being so scared about death. Thanks for watching.